I wasn't going to do a video on this at first because I didn't want to speculate too much on what's going on with her personally, but it is certainly newsworthy that Kelsey Plum will no longer be participating in Unrivaled. For those of you who haven't seen, she just put this up on her Instagram story out of nowhere. So this was not a press release or anything like that. It was just on Kelsey's Instagram story, and obviously serves as an official announcement that she will not be participating in the first season of Unrivaled. And you can see that from her statement right here, which is pretty clear and direct. It says, I've decided to not take part in the inaugural season of Unrivaled in order to take some more time for myself this offseason. I appreciate the league understanding and being so accommodating. I wish the league and all of the players nothing but the best, and I'm excited to watch. So simple, to the point. Obviously, we don't need to know more than that. Kelsey Plum is just taking more time for herself, essentially, right? The reason for that, who knows? She did have a divorce. That is a tough thing. There could be a myriad of reasons. She could just want more time to herself and more time off to be away from basketball. Whatever it is, I hope she's good, and I'm glad there was no friction or anything like that in this, happening this way. And Unrivaled, I've been very clear. I'm rooting for that league. I'm rooting for that league to succeed because it's a good idea, I think, as an alternative for these women to get paid and not have to go overseas and not have to, run around in a crazy off season and make more money too as well. It's also, another option for fans to watch and consume their favorite players in a long WNBA offseason. Of course, there's the subplot of the interest in Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark has said she's not doing Unrivaled, or hasn't. It has been reported that Caitlin Clark is not doing Unrivaled, which is, of course, a big blow, given Clark's popularity and how much Unrivaled wanted her to be there. I'm sure they're holding out hope that they can get her to change her mind between now and then. Remember, they had those 2 wild card spots, and Asia Wilson also not doing Unrivaled. Sabrina Ionescu not doing Unrivaled. And you want the bigger name players and the best players to be a part of the league if you want to succeed. I mean, that's just a duh. And Kelsey Plum is one of the bigger name players in the WNBA. She was set to be on the Laces. You can see she would have been with Courtney Williams and Kayla McBride, and was that Alyssa Thomas, Steph Dolson, and Kate Martin. So actually a pretty star-laden team, all things considered. I mean, Williams has some star power in the way she plays. Obviously, Kate Martin is a very marketable player. She was for the Aces, and Plum and Martin teammates on the Aces, of course. Plum is a free agent, so we'll see how that shakes out in the offseason as well, how both she and the Aces decide to handle that. Obviously, she's been a part of that core that won the championships there, but she is one of the better-known players in the league, and I think probably one of the more anticipated to see in a 3-on-3 setting. So we can't sit here and say it's not a blow to Unrivaled. It is. I don't see it as any sort of indictment on Unrivaled. Like, if we start seeing a mass of players back out, then, okay, what's going on here? But in this case, as of now, we have one individual player. And she has her own individual reasons. So I'm not going to read more into it, either on her side or for the ramifications on their side, or at least reading into, it being a thing for them. It's one player. Obviously, Clark not doing it, you get, she had all the leverage in that situation. She hadn't had time off. She doesn't need the money. She can market herself and do other things in the off season. I don't know how much. The way she was treated I don't even know why I did quotes, but you know what I mean. The way she was treated in her rookie WNBA season. And I did that because of, I guess, the fans, and that has been a lot of the discourse. So it's easy to see why Caitlin Clark didn't do it. Asia Wilson, someone close to her, claims she was offered a lot of money. I'm assuming she got a good offer. She didn't do it, but that's, I guess, part of the problem. Sabrina not doing it with the Nikes. One of the issues is the players who are likely monetarily doing the best have less need to do Unrivaled. But Unrivaled has more need for the players who are doing the best because they're doing the best because they're the most marketable and most well known. As is, I mean, there's still big time WNBA players in Unrivaled. The biggest names remaining would be the co founders, of course, Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. Arike Ogunbowale, who has got to be the favorite to win the one-on-one tournament they're having. They're having a one-on-one tournament for $250K. I just showed that team has Courtney Williams and Kate Martin. Angel Reese, obviously. Angel Reese has got to be the biggest probably name in the league that's playing. Not the best. I mean, you have two of the best players in the world in Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart, who co-founded the league. But it'll be interesting to see how Unrivaled navigates that sort of dilemma, which is not their fault. And their mission statement is a good one, a strong one. And they've got the media rights deal, and they've got the facility, and they've got the sponsorship from State Farm. So they got a lot of things going for them, but they don't have some of the biggest players in the league, including, of course, Clark, the by far biggest player in the league. So how do they make up for that, where the players they would most want to have are the players who least need the league, at least financially, I would assume. Now, Paige Becker's already committed, I believe. I don't know how these deals work, but unless I'm mistaken, she was already announced for when she does come in. So, and perhaps some of these other players will see the product and like the product and decide to come on for next year, or even decide to come on, for a guest appearance or whatever. I'm sure they would work around things, especially for one player, but you get the point. So that was the news. It was just surprising because people were, well, I mean, that's the definition of surprising, right? Because it just dropped on her Instagram story. There was no lead up. There was no joint statement. There was none of that. So it seems like it was obviously a personal decision for Kelsey Plum, who said she needed some more time off. So clearly hope everything is well with her. We'll see what happens with her offseason. The Valkyries have that expansion draft coming up soon. So that'll be an interesting thing. So will the free agency period. Clearly that will be an interesting thing. And Unrivaled will be happening in the midst of that. And to use that operative word, it'll be interesting to see that first season, in the inaugural season of Unrivaled. I'm kind of fascinated to both see what it looks like and see how it goes.